Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back. And first, I must say, my son is right here. So if you hear noise, you'll know what it is. But he's keeping me quite busy. I've kind of trying to shoot videos around him so that I can, get some recorded because it's kind of hard to do things. My wife comes home, and I just don't have a whole lot of time to do these kind of things, and also do eBay as well, which I've been focusing a lot on eBay stuff lately. But I have been watching movies, and I want to talk about that real quick. I actually, if nobody's been keeping tags on Netflix, and nobody has Netflix that watches this, boy, you need to get Netflix. A lot of people are talking about Netflix like on a downhill thing, or they're losing money and all this other stuff. And I really don't understand. I understand why, because they're paying for a lot of content. But really, Netflix just needs to get back to what they've been doing, and really just stick with shows that they have and stop creating new ones, because that's the biggest problem they got, I think, right now, is that they keep on coming up with more content, so like that. But beside the point, they've been putting a lot of legendary movies on their streaming service that are very, very popular lately, which they were having problems for a while. And I know during the year, at times, they will just kind of like go off on a thing and not have anything good for a while. But lately they've been pretty good. And I checked out Scarface for the very first time, and I want to talk about this because it's crazy. I've never watched Scarface before. This is the first time I watched Scarface. Watched it on Netflix. I think it was like 2 hours and 49 minutes long. This thing was from 1983. If you've never seen Scarface, do yourself a favor. Scarface, not Scarfaced. That's probably another movie. But do yourself a favor, sit down and watch it on Netflix. It's currently still on there as of this recording. But definitely go check it out. If it's not, it's worth going to check out, and at least, renting it digitally online somewhere, streaming it. It's actually really worth the watch. So what surprised me about this movie was it was 1983, okay? Michelle Pfeiffer was in this movie. And I'm like, what? Like, when did she start, and how old is Michelle Pfeiffer? And that, I can't even tell you, because I didn't look it up before the video. But she's looking great, and she probably still looks great. Wow, she's one of those, there's some actresses out there that look good for their age, and I'm sure they've gotten work done, but who knows who hasn't. Sometimes you can't tell what girls haven't had work done either, because, some people just age really well. So I think she's one of those girls that has probably aged really, really well. And I don't think she's passed. I think she's still alive. Pretty sure. But Al Pacino and Michelle Pfeiffer, they were pretty prominent roles in the movie. Michelle Pfeiffer was in like 75% of the movie she was in. It was pretty good. She did a pretty good job at her acting job. Al Pacino was great. I don't want to spoil anything, but this movie came out in 1983, fellas. So, and gals. So, if I'm spoiling anything, it's an old movie anyway. But if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Pretty much about this guy who, talks about the Cuban, which I knew nothing about this. Something about when Cuba had a bunch of people coming to the U.S., and it was like, probably, was it 60s? Either early 60s, early 70s, somewhere in between there, I think is when it happened. And they were coming in, and it had something to do with Castro. You have to watch the movie. It says everything in the beginning, but U.S. was allowing them to come in. It kind of relates to kind of what's going on with Mexico now, because Trump, is doing all that stuff with that. And, seeing that this happened back in that time frame, it kind of makes me want to think, back to that time and say, well, if people knew what happened back then, do they really want this to happen again with this? And, you got to learn from your history, folks. So maybe people need to watch Scarface and see, and remember what happened back then and not want to do it again with Mexico. Anyways, let's get into the movie Scarface. So like I said, this guy, it's about a guy who comes from Cuba, and, he's going through this, trying to become a citizen. He does, gets his green card, as a lot of them did back then, because I think the government, I don't know how close fact fiction to the movie it was, but pretty much there was riots, and basically they ended up just giving the green cards to, I believe, most of the Cubans that were in the camps and stuff. They're waiting to try and become citizens in the country. I think there was just a big uproar, so a lot of them just were given citizenship and said whatever. Um, I don't know my history, so you know, correct me down below if you know what exactly happened, like just in short form, what happened with that. But um, basically, it's him coming up and him not wanting to work and him pretty much being a bad guy to begin with coming in. He'd been in jail before, but in a rougher system in Cuba, and him trying to get up into the drug trade and stuff like that. And there's a lot of brutality, a lot of blood being spread on the streets, spilled on the streets. I guess not spread, spilled on the streets and houses and stuff. Along the way in the movie, and it's kind of a shocking movie. And it kind of takes me back that if you haven't seen. And I watched it, but I want to watch it again because I believe I fell asleep during it and I didn't get to see it completely through. I woke up at the ending and I missed pretty much missed the climax. Or I missed the conflict before the climax? Yeah, I missed that part in the movie Taxi Driver. And it kind of reminded me of Taxi Driver a lot. And I know it's not the same person, but my son's going crazy on the zoo thing over here. But it was just really a good movie. If you haven't ever seen it, Al Pacino is such a great actor, and him getting mad. It seemed like he would go off the handle about everything in this movie, though. And Michelle Pfeiffer in some of the roles near the end, she was just always there to just tear him down and say, "Yeah, you're stupid. Yeah, you're dumb. My husband you killed, was better than you," and stuff like that. And it was funny just how what was his name? Montana? Tony? Yeah, Tony Montana was Al Pacino's character, and he would say, "Yeah, but he's dead," or something like that. It was the way that there's a one scene that got all crazy like that, and he basically said, "Well, he's dead, I'm alive, so who's better now?" But he would say some stupid things in the movie. "The world is yours," that big quote that they kind of stole in Grand Theft Auto, or they showed a little bit of that. They kind of steal a lot from this movie. I see a lot of Grand Theft Auto stuff popping up in this movie that could have happened, probably wouldn't have happened. I don't know if it would have happened. I mean, just thinking back, if Scarface had never been made, would Grand Theft Auto would have ever been made? That's my question to you guys. Put a comment down below. Do people really think if Scarface didn't get made, would Grand Theft Auto would have been made? I don't know what other movie could have been a catalyst for people thinking man, we should make a video game like that. Because I don't really know. Would Casino? I don't know. Casino, Godfather. I mean, Godfather really didn't have those kind of things happen in that. There's killings and stuff, but really nothing to, elicit a video game. Pretty much a lot of stuff in the video game you can do was right in this movie. So, kind of crazy. But yeah, my overall reaction to Scarface is, it's a great movie. It is a really good movie. It's a classic. Would I own it? I don't know if I would own it. I really don't know. I think it is a rewatchable movie. And it's one that... And it's one I don't know. I think if I watched it again, maybe I would see something that maybe I'd be like, oh yeah, I can understand why people watch this. And there was a couple of moments in the movie that... we're kind of slow and drawn out, but it's just kind of like that Godfather feel, is that, they're trying to, convey emotion from the character, and they do, those little things in the movie to kind of convey the character to that. So, yeah. But, yeah, the movie was really, and there's a whole cast of supporting characters that are in that movie. A couple of them you notice from different things. I think the uncle that was in Breaking Bad, he was in this movie. The guy that was the most annoying grandpa or whatever. I'm trying to think of what his name was in the movie. I have no idea. But he's the guy the dude was taken care of in Breaking Bad, and then he's even in the newer Better Saul movies or show, because I call them movies. The Better Call Saul series, because it shows him and his nephew doing stuff, but doesn't show the one guy until a little bit later. If you know what I'm talking about, he's the older guy in Breaking Bad that was in the beginning of the series. He was the guy they were taking care of in that house. He's in his movie. It's kind of crazy. Um, and he does play a major role in the movie. If you haven't ever seen Scarface. But yeah, it's crazy things, and it's even at the point to where sometimes, and near the end of the movie, you see that Tony Montana even has a conscience. Hey, what are you getting into? What are you doing over here? Play with your toys. They're over here. Hey, play with your toys. Here, eat this. There you go. Sorry. Hey. See, well, I told you to make a video now. Anyways, movie was pretty good. I did enjoy the movie, and I would do recommend, if you haven't checked out Scarface, it is on Netflix currently, so go check it out. Let me know what you thought about it if you've never seen it before. If you have seen it before and you do like it, let me know in the comments below what's your favorite quote, or what's your favorite part in the movie, or what part of the movie makes it legendary. I want you to let me know, because to me, like I said, it was a really, really great movie. There was a lot of stuff in it that I can understand why it's memorable, things like that. There was a couple of scenes that I'm wondering, I think it might have been in The Godfather that I thought was in Scarface, but it wasn't in Scarface. Like the horse's head part, is that in Godfather? Did I get that mixed up with Godfather? I guess I did. But anyway, I thought that was in the movie. But it was, pretty much about cocaine. The whole entire movie is about. So, I'm going to let you go. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. Let me know what you thought about Scarface if you have seen it. And I got some other movie reviews, some other things coming up on the channel. Hope you guys subscribe if you are not already subscribed. More content on the way. I know my channel seems very non-consistent, and it is the case right now. My baby is keeping me very, very busy. Like right now, he's trying to grab something that I got to end this video quickly. So I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good jazz. Keep rocking, and keep watching gangsta movies like Scarface. Later.